Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic today. Well, today we are discussing developing education system in Egypt, and especially we are going to focus on the interdisciplinary education, which is a very special and a very a new type of learning. Actually, it has to do with studying one topic from different perspectives. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to host this morning in the breakfast show Dr. Eman and Nacher, the Dean of the Postgraduate Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies and Research, Helwan University. Good morning, Dr. Nacher.
Good morning.
Dr. Nacher, I really have the pleasure to host you today. And today we have a new topic, new to us all. So interdisciplinary teaching, can we say that it's a method of education in which students learn about a single topic or a single issue from various and different point of views? So could you explain more?
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm really happy to be with you today to highlight this very important topic.
Yes.
You know, interdisciplinarity, it's a philosophy, actually. It's kind of philosophy that will govern the education and make dramatic change in all components of the education. What's this philosophy? Philosophy of interdisciplinarity brought by its origin and roots, brought by a movement to reform education in order to solve social problems like racism, like unifying the population into an identity. This was happened in the late of after the First World War, and then it becomes more and more active according to these ideas.
Yes.
The concept is to change the minds, to make another state of mind for people who are educated, and then to act in the society in a different way. This is the philosophy. It's the ethics of being together and united together.
Why? What is the benefit?
Why of the benefit? You know, a lot of factors leads to this idea. You know, if you think about the world we are living in, it's an integrated world. We are not in a separate islands, as they said. We are all integrated, we are all connected, we are affected each other, you affect each other and affected by each other. So you cannot be in one box separated from others. So the idea of integration became popular for solving popular problems, complex problems like global warming, like terrorism, like how to manage the business and the economic crisis. So all these complex problems, you cannot solve it with only one discipline. You have to cooperate. You have to admit that each discipline has shortage in knowledge and should be completed by others.
Yes.
So that's the concept, to come together in order to solve complex problems, to answer complex questions about something. So that's the idea, to change the mind in order to act in a different way to solve problems.
Yes. So, Dr. Nacher, we know that Helwan University has a good experience in this field. Could you give us an idea about it?
Yes, actually, 4 years ago, Helwan University started its new faculty and the academic preparation for this, the only in kind in the Middle East and the MENA region that's specified in postgraduate studies, interdisciplinary education only. The experience was really very interesting because, you know, we start to build knowledge and about how to design programs for interdisciplinary studies. It's new, and we have to work hard in order to. It needs a special mechanism to bring people together. You know, it's very difficult to invite professors from different disciplines and let them sit together and, okay, we need to design a curriculum that everybody is here, but not dominant, you know.
Yes.
No domination for any of the disciplines. They are all combined, they're merged, blended like this to create a new program that has special identity separated from the original ones.
Yes.
So this is a challenge, very challenging, because, you know, we are raised in the traditional education to support and to keep the boundaries of your discipline. This is the education.
Yes.
You have to keep your boundaries for your specialization.
Yes.
Now you are required to recognize the link between your specialization and the others and try to make something together.
Yes. So, Dr. Nacher, when you started this in Helwan University 4 years ago, as you've just mentioned, what were the steps that you took? How did you prepare for to start this field? How did you prepare the professors and the teachers to deal with this field?
Yes. Actually, we started this as usual scientific way with a literature review, a whole bunch of literature review to know about this issue and to study it very well and to know about how to design the program, because it's completely different in its component. And then we invite professors from Jamat Helwan, from University of Helwan, to bring ideas about interdisciplinarity in each topic. You know, we have to serve the community, we have to serve the market needs. So professors start to generate ideas that will fill gaps, specific gaps in the job markets. And then each idea, we develop teamwork to try to design specific program to fill a gap in the job market to solve this problem.
Yes.
And then we start to make several workshops among these interdisciplinary groups, and then we start to put some principles how to design according to the literature we have already studied, and then the work gradually developed until we finished our designs. You know, the interdisciplinary program is completely different from the traditional program. Yes. You know, because it's a team teaching program. Not only one professor can teach. No, every course should be taught by team, and this is very difficult.
Yes.
And you know, the students, I have to talk about students, because the product of the program, the students, completely different from the traditional one, because he has or she has a different state of mind. He can very creative.
They reacted quickly to this idea or system.
We're gonna open our academic year next year.
Yes.
But we identified the ILOs, or the intended learning outcomes of our graduates. They should be very creative, very flexible, and you know what? They will not be biased to any of their original disciplines. This is very challenging, that you raise a state of mind that is not biased to any of the disciplines that brings this program.
Yes.
And you know, the knowledge, the production of knowledge is integrative. You know, we all can make research in our disciplines, but to make research with others and produce integrative knowledge, this is another challenge.
Yes.
So all these issues considered carefully in our programs and in our designs.
Yes. Dr. Nacher, do you think it's important for in Egypt to implement this education system?
Of course, you know, global-wise, the university will be interdisciplinary. Global-wise, it's the future of the education all over the world.
All over the world.
Yes, even now they are starting to apply principles in schools, and then the graduates, and then the postgraduates. So this is the future. So we have to work on it starting from now in order to fit with the global market.
Are there already some schools in Egypt who started interdisciplinary?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But you can find
But
some
on its
trials.
way.
Yes, on some trials, some programs, because you know, I have to mention something. There are a little bit conflict between multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary. Multidisciplinary, you bring disciplines together, but they are not merged. They work separately on the same topic from different perspectives, as you said, but they are not merged. In interdisciplinary programs, the disciplines merge together for a new identity of discipline. So this thing is a little bit challenging. So we are on our way, inshallah.
So, Dr. Nacher, you've just mentioned that this system is going to be globally implemented.
Yes.
Okay. So, what is the country that you see as a role model in this, or pioneers in this field?
Yes, this is a very good question.
Thank you.
Because you cannot start working like this unless you have your benchmark. So we start to build our benchmarks from different schools all over the world. But you know, the name of this faculty in Helwan University is very rare. You don't, you will not find a specific faculty for interdisciplinary studies, but you will find interdisciplinary programs contained in the universities already there. So our benchmarks actually are in different parts of the world. We have benchmarks from Texas University, California. They have the UCLA. They have good experience. In the United Kingdom, are others university that apply the concept of interdisciplinarity. Italy also, we have some university there. So yes, we have benchmarks all over the world.
Yes, yes. So what are the methods that is important to develop the education system using the interdisciplinary?
I cannot say it's method, but it's a group of ethics that works on the way people can think about the world and the others around them. So the key aspect in interdisciplinarity to develop the skills for system thinking and contextual thinking. These are the key. I cannot say method, but they are way of thinking.
Yes.
They could be developed by applying some concepts like conceptual concepts, like problem-solving concept, and so on. System thinking and contextual thinking are very important to build on students. System thinking is your ability to break any problem into its part, and you know what discipline can serve these small parts and then bring them together. So you divide things into its small parts in order to solve it, and bring the sources of knowledge that can serve each part and integrate them together. Contextual thinking to deal with problems and questions broadly, considering time, history, culture, geographic issues, to have this broad vision of any problem. So this type of thinking, this is the key for applying interdisciplinarity in education.
Yes. So, Dr. Nacher, now Helwan University started this system, and it's the first system to be started in a university in the Middle East and Africa. So how did you try to help or coordinate with other universities in Egypt to have them start this system?
I think this is very advanced issue, because we have to start our academic year first, and then we start to cooperate with others. Because you know, cooperation among universities in this kind of education is a measure, because you know, interdisciplinarity means no boundaries, even boundaries of organizations, and no boundaries among discipline, and no boundaries among universities. So yes, we should merge in the future with other universities, but I think this is our future plan to do this after we started our academic years.
Yes. What do we expect from the generation or the students who studied with the system of the interdisciplinary? how would this help them during their work and after they are graduated? What would be the outcome or the expectations that we expect?
Okay. I will mention two issues in this to answer this question. The first one is, let us go to the global market and then the changing attitude of the global market in order to hire people in their jobs. You know, a dramatic change happened. New requirements are raised according to interdisciplinarity because the workplace changed and become interdisciplinarity. So now they put high value on skills like the ability to connect with others who are not in your discipline, the ability to work in groups, the ability to communicate with people who are not talking the same language, the ability to work in interdisciplinary context. So all these skills the students should acquire in their education. So this kind of education will help them to fit in the global market.
Yes.
The second issue I want to raise here is the attitude or the type of person produced by this education actually is very interesting, and I think it will fit with the modern youth and attitude of youth because it's very flexible. They give them freedom of choice. They give them a high space of creativity and synthesis. I think this will fit with the the trends now among youth. They will enjoy this kind of education much more than the traditional education. It's free. It's yeah.
So what are the kinds of programs that this system offers?
We will start our academic years with 3 unique programs. As I told you before, we start our program with a gap in the market. So our first program entitled Creativity and Cultural Development Industries. This program deals with the issue or the topic of creative economy. All over the world, all the countries are now working on this topic in order to make all the creative industries part of the national economy of the country. But in order to do this, you have to prepare people who can manage these creative industries. Creative industries, I mean all the industries that related to arts, performing arts, visual arts, media, any kind of creativity that reflects on industry needs a special calibers to manage these kind of jobs. So we integrate disciplines of art with business, with tourism and mass comm together in one program in order to allow this kind of integration of knowledge to prepare this kind of people who can work in all culture organizations, museums, media centers, TV stations, and all these kind of creative industries that needs a special people who can manage in order to have economic value for these businesses.
So the worker who is going to be studying with this system at the university is going to differ from another worker.
Yes, exactly. Yes, this needs a changing of the whole society, you know. In order to manage this place, you need to have economic value. You have to make some perspectives that amalgamated with economy, with tourism, with art. So this will change the minds gradually, gradually.
So the employees are going to differ from one another, the one who studied with the system of interdisciplinary.
Exactly. Yes, I told you it's a paradigm shift in the way we think, in the way we deal with problems. So yes, they will be different, I'm sure, but different for the best, for the sake of the country.
Yes.
And I would like to also mention the other two programs because they are also very unique. The other one called Healthcare Informatics and Clinical Data. You know, this very important program works for the medical reports and medical data that needs to be analyzed in order to employed in medical purposes. Healthcare, healthcare insurance, diagnosis. So all people who are working with medical data could be applied in this program in order to know how to manipulate these data for medical purposes. This kind of education is not existed in Egypt, so we would like to allow this program for filling this gap.
Yes. So, Dr. Nacher, if we are going to implement this system in the schools, at what stage should this system start? From the primary stage, or the preparatory, or the secondary at the secondary school?
Yes, thank you, and
When
I hope
should
Ministry
start?
of Education is
Would
yes, would respond to this.
for
Yes,
this.
you know, from the first day of school, students, it's easier to
to be brought up.
Yes, with this kind of
Knowing this system.
attitude in thinking. You know, the younger, the better, the easier. Because now a lot of schools, many schools in the United States and Europe are turned to be interdisciplinary schools. In order to change the mind of students when they are young, it's very easy. And in order not to let them see the world as separate subjects. You know, this kind of thinking, it's very important for students to acquire from early years of education.
Yes. Yes.
So hope this happened in Egypt.
Yes. How can we get people to know more about this system? How would the parents know more about this system in order to deal with their children in the future, if this system is going to be implemented in the schools in Egypt? Does it need that the parents have some training or something, or this system is going to help the student to be independent and to study by his own?
You know, this system requires like a changing in the culture in the academia and the culture in the society, because you know it's a new paradigm of and way of thinking. A new citizen will be brought by this education with special minds. So I think this will happen gradually. You know, very difficult to change the culture of the society, but it will happen gradually. The more we have programs, the more that the issue will be declared, the issue will be spread, and we have to talk about it in the media, in the TV, and then to help spread the ideas, and gradually, you know, they will know that this is much better than the traditional one.
Yes. I thank you very much for your valuable information and for giving us a great idea about this new system that is already applied in the Helwan University. Thank you very much for joining us today in the breakfast show. Dr. Eman Nacher, Dean of the Postgraduate Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies and Research, Helwan University. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for following me. Please stay tuned for more segments in the breakfast show.